Some voices sing, and then there are voices that transcend, voices that don't just hit notes, but strike chords deep within the soul, echoing the universal human experience of joy, sorrow, triumph, and despair. For a generation, and indeed for generations to come, that voice belonged to one woman, Whitney Elizabeth Houston. She was more than a singer, she was a phenomenon, a force of nature, a celestial gift wrapped in a dazzling smile. Her music wasn't just heard, it was felt, a soundtrack to our lives, a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of a single, perfect note. But beneath the glittering facade of superstardom, beyond the sold-out arenas and the record-breaking sales, lay a story far more complex, far more human, and ultimately far more tragic than many ever knew. Today, we journey beyond the music, to explore the extraordinary life and enduring legacy of Whitney Houston, the woman, the legend, the voice that will forever resonate in the annals of history. Born on August 9, 1963, in Newark, New Jersey, Whitney's destiny was seemingly etched in the very fabric of her family. Her mother, Cissy Houston, was a gospel powerhouse and a renowned backup singer for legends like Elvis Presley and Aretha Franklin. Her cousins were Dionne Warwick and Dee Dee Warwick, and her godmother was the Queen of Soul herself, Aretha Franklin. Music wasn't just a passion in the Houston household, it was the air they breathed, the language they spoke, the very rhythm of their existence. From a tender age, Whitney's extraordinary vocal gift was evident. She began singing in the New Hope Baptist Church choir, where her mother served as music director. It was here, within the sacred walls of the church, that Whitney honed her instrument, learning control, power, and the profound emotional depth that would become her signature. The raw talent was undeniable, but it was the discipline and spiritual grounding instilled by her mother that truly shaped her into the artist she would become. While her voice was destined for greatness, Whitney's initial foray into the public eye was through modeling, gracing the pages of magazines like Seventeen and Glamour. But the call of music was too strong to ignore. In 1983, a pivotal moment arrived when Arista Records head Clive Davis discovered her at a New York nightclub. Davis, a legendary music executive with an uncanny ear for talent, immediately recognized the unparalleled potential in the young Whitney. He signed her, and thus began a partnership that would redefine the pop music landscape. Davis meticulously crafted her debut album, ensuring every song showcased her incredible vocal range and versatility. Debut album, Whitney Houston, released in 1985, was not an overnight sensation, but a slow-burning masterpiece that steadily climbed the charts. It spawned hit after hit. You Give Good Love, Saving All My Love for You, How Will I Know, and Greatest Love of All. The album spent 14 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200, becoming the best-selling debut album by a female artist at the time. The world was captivated. Her voice was a revelation, powerful yet tender, soaring yet intimate. She effortlessly blended pop, R&B, and soul, creating a sound that was both commercially appealing and artistically profound. She was a breath of fresh air, a superstar who broke barriers and shattered expectations. Her follow-up album, Whitney, released in 1987, solidified her status as a global icon. It became the first album by a female artist to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Hits like I Wanna Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me, Didn't We Almost Have It All, and So Emotional dominated the airwaves. Whitney was at the zenith of her powers, a radiant presence whose every performance was a masterclass in vocal artistry. She was a crossover success unlike any before her, appealing to audiences across genres, races, and demographics. Her voice was a unifying force, a testament to music's ability to transcend boundaries. Claus, the 1990s brought new triumphs, most notably her iconic rendition of The Star-Spangled Banner at Super Bowl 25 in 1991, a performance so powerful and emotionally charged that it became a benchmark for all future renditions. But it was her foray into acting that would cement her legend even further. In 1992, she starred alongside Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard. The film was a massive box office success, but it was the soundtrack that truly broke records. Her cover of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You became the best-selling single by a female artist of all time, spending 14 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was a vocal tour de force, a raw and vulnerable performance that highlighted the full spectrum of her emotional range. The song became synonymous with Whitney, an anthem of enduring love and heartbreak, a testament to her unparalleled ability to imbue a song with profound meaning. Throughout the 90s, Whitney continued to reign supreme, releasing successful albums like My Love Is Your Love, and starring in films such as Waiting to Exhale and The Preacher's Wife. She amassed an astonishing array of awards, including multiple Grammys, Emmys, and American Music Awards. She was a global ambassador for music, touring the world and selling out stadiums wherever she went. Her influence was undeniable, inspiring a generation of singers and artists who sought to emulate her vocal prowess and stage presence. She was, quite simply, the voice. Yet, beneath the dazzling lights and the thunderous applause, a different narrative was unfolding. The immense pressure of superstardom, the constant scrutiny, and the relentless demands of her career began to take their toll. Her marriage to singer Bobby Brown in 1992, a union that was often tumultuous and highly publicized, became a source of both joy and profound challenge. The public watched, fascinated and often critical, as rumors of drug use and erratic behavior began to surface. For years, Whitney denied these allegations, but the signs of struggle became increasingly apparent. Her once pristine voice began to show strain, her performance became less consistent, and her radiant glow seemed to be dim. The early 2000s marked a significant decline. Her album, Just Whitney, 2002, received mixed reviews, and her infamous interview with Diane Sawyer in 2002, where she declared, "Crack is whack," offered a glimpse into the depths of her battles. The public, who had once adored her, now watched with a mixture of concern and judgment. It was a heartbreaking decline for an artist who had once seemed invincible. The voice that had once soared effortlessly now struggled, a poignant metaphor for the internal battles she was fighting. Addiction is a cruel master, and it slowly, relentlessly begins to chip away at the very essence of Whitney Houston. Despite her struggles, Whitney never truly gave up on her music or her desire to reclaim her place in the industry. In 2009, she released I Look to You, an album that was hailed as a comeback. It debuted at #1, and her voice, though perhaps not as pristine as in her youth, still possessed an undeniable power and emotional resonance. She embarked on a tour, but the challenges remained. The years of substance abuse had taken a heavy toll on her body and her voice, and the road to recovery was fraught with setbacks. The world desperately wanted to see the voice return to its former glory, but the journey was proving to be an arduous one. On February 11, 2012, the world was plunged into shock and sorrow. Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in her hotel room in Beverly Hills, California, just hours before she was scheduled to perform at a pre-Grammy party. The official cause of death was accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use listed as contributing factors. She was just 48 years old. The news sent a ripple of grief across the globe. It was a tragic end to a life that had promised so much, a life that had given so much joy and inspiration through her music. The outpouring of grief was immense, a testament to the profound impact she had on millions of people. Artists, fans, and critics alike mourned the loss of a true legend. Her funeral was a star-studded affair, a celebration of her life and music, but also a somber reflection on the battles she had fought. Her passing served as a stark reminder of the fragility of even the most powerful talents and the devastating consequences of addiction. But to remember Whitney Houston solely for her struggles would be to diminish the monumental legacy she left behind. Her voice remains unparalleled, a benchmark for vocal excellence. She broke down racial barriers in the music industry, paving the way for countless artists who followed. She was a pop icon, a fashion trendsetter, and a cultural phenomenon. Her songs continue to resonate, played on radio stations, streamed online, and cherished by new generations discovering her magic. I Will Always Love You remains one of the most beloved and recognizable songs of all time. Her gospel roots infused her pop music with a spiritual depth that elevated it beyond mere entertainment. Whitney Houston's effect is evident in the voices of countless contemporary artists who cite her as their primary inspiration. She taught us the power of a perfectly executed run, the emotional weight of a sustained note, and the sheer joy of singing from the heart. She showed us that a black woman could dominate the global pop charts, proving that talent knows no color or creed. Her legacy is not just in the records she sold or the awards she won, but in the indelible mark she left on the very fabric of music itself. Whitney Elizabeth Houston lived a life of extraordinary highs and devastating lows. She was a complex woman, a vulnerable soul, and an artist of unparalleled genius. Her story is a cautionary tale, but it is also a testament to the enduring power of her gift. When we listen to her music, we don't just hear notes, we hear her spirit, her passion, her pain, and her triumph. Her voice, once a vibrant force that filled stadiums, now echoes through time, a timeless reminder of the woman who truly went beyond the music. And in every soaring melody, every heartfelt lyric, Whitney Houston will always, always be loved.